Tesla here at first. The year's 1899, inside a wooden laboratory in Colorado Springs. Nikola Tesla is all alone. He was doing something that, at the time, looked like pure magic. He was trying to eavesdrop on the universe. It was late at night. His equipment, machines far ahead of their time, suddenly came alive. It wasn't static. It wasn't atmospheric noise. Tesla heard a rhythm. 1, 2, 3. It was a code, a mathematical pattern. Tesla was shaken. He wrote in his diary, "I felt as though I were present at the birth of a new knowledge, something not of this earth." He was convinced he had just heard a greeting from another planet. The world laughed at him. The media called him insane. But what if Tesla was right? What if that greeting didn't come from Mars, but from a massive dark object that had been orbiting Earth for thousands of years before we even learned to fly? You have to understand one thing about Tesla. He wasn't just some guy. This is the man who gave us alternating current. Without him, our world today would be dark. But after that night in Colorado Springs, his life changed. He became obsessed. He told reporters he had communicated with intelligent beings. Imagine saying that in 1900. Radio itself was barely a thing. And here he was, talking about aliens. The American public, who once treated him like a rock star, started to back away. They labeled him a mad scientist. The isolation must have been crushing. Knowing a truth, but having absolutely no one believe you. He eventually died alone in the New Yorker hotel, taking the secret of that signal to his grave. But the story didn't end with Tesla's death. In fact, that was just the beginning. Jump forward to the 1920s. Almost 30 years after Tesla heard that signal, science started detecting something weird. It's a phenomenon called LDEs, or long-delayed echoes. The concept is simple. If you send out a radio signal, it travels at the speed of light. It should bounce back in a split second. But researchers in Norway and the Netherlands found something terrifying. They would send a signal, and the echo wouldn't come back instantly. It came back 3 seconds later, sometimes 15 seconds later. Physically, that makes no sense, unless the signal was recorded, held, and sent back by something in Earth's orbit. The researchers remembered Tesla. Was this what he heard in 1899? Is there a ghost satellite watching us? Remember, this was the 1920s. Sputnik, the first human-made satellite, wouldn't launch until 1957. So, if there was something up there, it wasn't ours. It wasn't the Russians. So, whose was it? By the 1960s, the Cold War was heating up. The skies were full of paranoia. America was terrified that Russia had a secret weapon in space. The U.S. Department of Defense started tracking an unidentified object in a polar orbit. Now, this is the strange part. At that time, both American and Russian satellites only orbited the equator. Nobody had the technology to put a satellite in a polar orbit yet, but radar picked up something huge. They estimated it weighed 15 tons. For comparison, our best satellites back then were the size of a basketball. The media gave it a name: the Black Knight satellite, a silent guardian, an invisible observer. There were rumors that astronaut Gordon Cooper saw it with his own eyes during the Mercury Atlas 9 mission. He reported a glowing green shape approaching his capsule. Of course, the official report said it was just a hallucination caused by high CO2 levels. Classic. But the most disturbing visual evidence wouldn't arrive for another few decades. December 1998. Space Shuttle Endeavour, mission STS-88. They were up there to start building the International Space Station while the astronauts were working in the void. NASA cameras captured this. Look closely. NASA, of course, has a logical explanation. They say this is a thermal blanket, a heat shield, that accidentally drifted away during a spacewalk by astronaut Jerry Ross. Catalog number 025570, space junk. Maybe they're right. Maybe it is just a crumpled blanket floating away. But look at the shape. Many people see a solid structure, sharp angles. It doesn't look like flapping fabric. It looks like a ship or an ancient probe. If this is just a blanket, why does it look so intimidating? And why does this shape fit the description of the signal Tesla heard 100 years ago? Something old, something waiting. We might never know for sure. Is the Black Knight a 13,000-year-old alien probe watching human evolution? Or is it just space debris and our wild imagination? But there is one thing about this story that really gets to me. Nikola Tesla spent the rest of his life being mocked because he believed he wasn't alone in this universe. He died with the label of a madman. But today, when we look at that photo from STS-88, or when we listen to those mysterious radio echoes, we are doing exactly what Tesla did. We are looking up, we are wondering, and we are hoping that in the silent darkness, there is someone or something looking back. Maybe Tesla wasn't crazy. Maybe he was just a very good listener.